Our nation is in trouble. I'm talking about our government and our culture. And the only one answer to what we are facing is Jesus. Jesus said in John chapter 12, verse 32, and when I am lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. We need to lift up Jesus in our nation and across the world. So we will be considering the politics and cultural issues of our day in light of God's word. So today, let's consider this. Redistricting for Success in Texas. So the redistricting of congressional districts normally occurs after each 10-year census. Our Constitution provides for proportional representation in the House of Representatives. For those of you familiar with how Congress and the Electoral College works, you know this. But now we're doing it like before the midterm. So why is that? Well, number one, why now? And then, is it legal or is it constitutional? And the short answer is yes, it is legal. It's both legal and constitution. And here's what I'll tell you. The Constitution reads in Article 1 that you do have to redistrict after every census, but it doesn't say that you can't do it more than once. You can do it as often as you want. So obviously each party wants congressional districts to line up favorably for them so that they gain more House seats, which then results in their party having more power to pass legislation, etc. Now, so why did this happen, or how did this happen? According to AP News, President Trump asked the Texas legislature to create new districts in time for next year's midterms. Texas as a whole has 38 seats in the House of Representatives hold 25 of them. So predominantly, we are red here in Texas, but there are proposed maps that you'll see in a minute here. And if these new maps are approved, I believe they will be. That should add maybe another 5 seats, 5 Republican seats for 2026, which would be great for those of us who are Republicans. So first, I'll just let Charlie put up the maps on the screen here. Charlie, could you just put those up? So that first picture, that's the state. And you can see obviously where my focus is, Congressional District 34. That's why I had it kind of zoomed in there. This is the district that I'm running for on the Republican ticket. And for reference, the Republican nominee, the last election, Mayra Flores only lost to the Democrat Vicente Gonzalez by 2 points, actually like 2.6%. And the proposed changes will favor the Republican nominee in 2026. I believe that's going to be me. In fact, Charlie, if you could just go ahead and put up that next slide that kind of shows what the district will look like. And here's what I want you to take away from that, if you will. District 15, which you saw there, that's Monica De La Cruz. She's a Republican. That district already leans Republican. And now with the addition of Harlingen, that makes it even more so. So I fully expect if this map is approved, Monica is going to continue. She will be reelected as the incumbent for District 15. Good for us. And then District 34, although we lose Harlingen, you probably saw there we pick up Nueces, which is Corpus Christi, which is huge, and it's very strong Republican. So what you've done, if you've strengthened both 15 and District 34. Now, I believe that I would win District 34 with or without redistricting, but I'm certainly not going to argue with it. To be honest with you, I'm good with that. The Democrats right now, and if anybody that's watching the media, the Democrats are so mad about this. They're making all kinds of noise about it, but it doesn't matter because the makeup of the committee is mostly Republican, and it will get through. And all I would tell you is, if you're a Democrat and you happen to be watching this, if the shoe was on the other foot, y'all would be doing it just as well. So again, I don't think it's necessary for me for District 34. I believe I'll win it anyway. I really do. But if you just take the last election back in 2024, Vicente Gonzalez won with 51.3% of the vote. So he had 102,780 votes total. Myra, who ran against him, she was the Republican nominee. She had 48.7, pretty darn close. Like I said, 2.6%. So she had 97,603 votes. That brings us to the Republican race here in South Texas for District 34. Here's the current candidates for the nomination, and I'm going to say this more and more as we get closer to March. The primary is in March, the end of March, for the Republican nomination, and there are currently 4 candidates, but soon to be more. It's important that people get out and vote. So the number 1 candidate, obviously, is me. I believe I'm the best candidate. And then you have Bam Morales, who is out of Brownsville. There's a person named Joshua Cortez. He just jumped in. I'm not familiar with him at all. And most people are not. So maybe we'll hear more from him. Maybe we won't. I've heard he's filed his paperwork, but he really hasn't done anything with it. And then some of you may be familiar with Eric Flores. He just announced this past, I don't know, a week and a half ago, and I won't get into it here, but most of you have already heard me say this. He's the installed candidate. This is the one that DC is saying he's going to be your guy, whether you like it or not. Obviously, I don't believe that. I believe I'm going to win that. But then you have Gregory Kunkel. I don't think he's filed his paperwork yet, but he has run in the past. In fact, he ran in 2024 against Myra Flores for the Republican nomination. And the truth is, he wasn't even close. He received 3.8% of the vote, to Myra's 81.2%. So why he's running again, I don't know. Seems like a nice guy, but he hasn't announced yet, but it looks like he's going to. He's all over social media. And then I've heard Myra Flores, who is already running for a different district. I'm being told with the redistricting, she may jump over and decide to jump into an already crowded field to run for District 34. And then there's an outlier in Anne Marie Torres, who's out of Kleberg County, I believe. She may or may not jump into the race. So there's quite a few people here, and I think we all know that choice is good, but sometimes when you have that many people going for one seat, it gets a lot of leadership nervous because, you know, when you get the field that crowded, you have a big chance for a runoff, unless like one person just runs away with it like Myra did. It could be, you could take this thing to a runoff, and I think we all know it gets messy. Republicans start talking about Republicans, and it becomes a war. I will tell you, you won't have to worry about that with me. Even with the Eric Flores thing, I don't know anything about Eric. He may be a nice guy. I'm sure he probably is. But my issue isn't with Eric Flores. My issue is with the establishment that is really pushing a candidate on the voters, whether they like it or not. Here's who's going to be your congressperson. I don't agree with that. I think it's corruption. But as far as the candidates themselves, I would say every Republican candidate, hopefully if it does get down to a race between 6 of us, hopefully everybody keeps it respectful. You can certainly count on that from me. It's a crowded field. I believe I'm the best candidate. And why? I'm the one that I will tell you, I'm the one that has my own staple, if you will. I have a staple of my own. So, yes, I am pro-life. I'm pro-military. I'm pro-veteran. I'm pro-law enforcement. I want secure borders. I want Second Amendment protection. I want small government, lower taxes, and I support our president's agenda. All that being said, to be honest with you, those are price of admission things. Any Republican that you talk to, any of the ones I just mentioned, they would give you the same variation of those same things that they will tell you, here's what I stand for. If you're going to run on the Republican ticket, all I'd say is you better, or you got no chance at all, or you got no business running. But here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I add. And you've all heard me talk about this, and I'm going to continue to beat this drum. I will fight for citizenship for DACA recipients and total immigration reform. All I'll tell you is everybody talks about it, but nobody really wants to touch it. When I say DACA recipients, why do I believe they should have citizenship right away? I'm not going to get into all of it again. I did that in a previous broadcast. I'll just repeat once again. These kids came over as minors. This goes back as far back as 2007. Many of these kids, they all had to be under 16 when they came over. So none of them committed any crimes. Did their parents commit a crime by coming over? Well, they probably did. But that does not make the children guilty of any crime. And I'll just tell you, I have a scripture reference that I just would ask you to keep in mind. And it's in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 18. It's just 2 verses. I'm going to read it out of the NIV version, and it certainly applies here. Chapter 18, Ezekiel, verses 19 and 20. Yet you ask, why does the son not share the guilt of his father? Since the son has done what is just and right and has been careful to keep all my decrees, he will surely live. The one who sins is the one who will die. The child will not share the guilt of the parent, nor will the parent share the guilt of the child. The righteousness of the righteous will be credited to them, and the wickedness of the wicked will be charged against them. In short, if the parents broke the law in coming over the border the wrong way, and they were bringing minors with them, those kids did not create any crime. So should we hold that against them? No. And I won't go through the whole thing with you again, but I'll just tell you, we all know they came over. They have not been in hiding. These are people that they've gone to school here. They've grown up here. They have done, many of them own businesses now. They work here. Their friends, their family are here. So when you hear people say, and sometimes I've heard some of my Republicans say, well, no, they all have to be sent home. Well, truthfully, they are home. So it's kind of ignorant to say that. Many of them, they've never been over to whatever country their parents brought them over to. So do we need to make it right? Yes, there's 538,000 of them here under DACA protection, but that does not give them legal status. So you wonder, well, why haven't they applied for citizenship in the U.S. since they become 18? There's not a way for them to do that. DACA does not give them legal status. So I will fight for that. And I believe we can get that off the table right away. Now, when you look at total immigration reform, I think there's a lot of work to be done. And anybody that tells you, oh, that's a simple thing, I will just tell you they're lying to you. It's very, very complex. The thing's been broken for a really long time. But unless somebody gets in there and says, I'm going to get a hold of this thing and I'm going to get some people together and we are going to figure this thing out and make it right. Because if we don't, I'll just tell you, 50 years from now, it'll be a different group of people trying to figure out the same thing that we have an obligation to take care of today. But initially, secure our borders, get DACA off the table, get that fixed. It doesn't have to be connected to any other bill, and it shouldn't be. We don't need to be playing football with human beings. They've already been here. So as far as the path to citizenship, they've been on the path to citizenship for many years. Let's get that off the table. And when you say, where does that separate me from the others? Nobody, the candidates I've talked to you about, as well as the Democrats, nobody is talking about DACA. Nobody's talking about overall immigration reform. And when you do, you just hear some surface stuff. Nobody's doing anything about it. I absolutely would. And then lastly, I would just tell you, we have a event August 2, so Saturday of this coming Saturday. I think you're seeing this on Wednesday. So On Saturday, we have our next big event, which is in Kleberg. So as you can see, if you look at the bottom left there, we need donations. We are going hard at this thing. And as soon as this map is approved, we're going to be going to Corpus Christi. I plan on spending a lot of time there. That's a big one that you have to win. And quite frankly, we'll put a big event together in Corpus. I believe that'll be the next one. You got to have funds to do that. So please, anybody, I don't care whether it's $50, $100, $25, whatever you have, please make sure you donate and share that with your friends and family. I say this to people, in person, but you don't have to be from Texas to donate. The truth is, this position, this seat that I'm running for, it has to do, yes, of course it's for Texas, but it will impact our entire country. In fact, in my notes here, I put the seat will impact our country for Jesus, because I will always honor God and serve the people of Texas in any decisions, any influences I have. So I plan to spend a lot of time in Corpus. I hope you'll join me. Until next week, God bless you, and we will talk to you then.